So CEs are our racket.
Yeah, and because basically you have providers, there's a whole gamut. And you have some very good providers that are charging a premium for it and their work is worth it. And then you have other providers that are charging, a decent sum and they don't have chairs at their place and or they're overcrowded.
Yeah.
Or it's majority taught by TAs. And that's where a lot of therapists get frustrated because they've spent $600, $1,000 on a class to be taught by TAs.
Yeah.
And that's where part of the group, we're really trying to not only let our members know what kind of classes are out there and what they can expect to take a class, and also to open that dialogue with the provider that they're thinking about taking class with, but also for the providers to see what other people are doing so that they can improve their classes.
Yeah.
That's really the goal. So that way when a student goes, oh, $400 for a class, well, this is going to be worth it. Because I'm going to get a quality education. I'm going to get something that's going to benefit my practice, something that's going to benefit me, or I'm just going to enjoy it and have fun. Versus, oh, I took this class and it was a complete waste. I got some new stuff, but all it did was meet my hour requirements.
Yeah. I often find therapists are looking at CE classes as, this is what I do to get the requirements I need for the state to be able to renew my license. But I don't have them looking at education like it's a real investment. And what I see is, here's core curriculum, and that core curriculum costs what, $8,000?
Yeah, depending.
$8,000 to $20,000, depending on where you go, depending on the number of hours. So anything I teach is a tack on. But here's what I'm doing. Other than the anatomy and physiology you learn in this, I'm going, no, I offer a completely different. And that's the thing. The challenge is, if that student is already $12,000 in debt, now my $400 class is expensive because they don't teach what I do in core curriculum. And I'm trying to walk students through a really long sequence of classes to build them up and give them the information they need. But much like the Grateful Dead playing Dark Star, it's like, is this jazz? Is it fusion? Is it folk? It's like I've gone so far to the perimeter, to the edges, that people don't even look at it as massage anymore. But if it's under massage law, it's manipulation of soft tissue, but
it doesn't fit with their narrowly defined perception of
cultural
perception, right?
box,
which is on a table, typically with draping.
And trying to figure out, as a CE provider, how do you educate and bring along that small subset of adoring fans to build what you're doing is a challenge, but I kind of like it. That's why I get up and have coffee and bust it out and make videos, because this is where I excel. Other people are afraid. They don't want to be called fat. And it's like, I'll take fat comments all day. Hey, if you're watching this on YouTube and you want to call me fat, just write down below.
I need more donuts. You're gonna have more donuts in these. So, I want donuts. Please call me.
It's something that my suspicion is you and I will do things like this for years and years. 10 years from now, you and I will probably look back and laugh at the almost ridiculousness, because it takes time to build. And here's the thing, I'm right here. I'm starting to go up and starting to grow. And I thought that this would be awesome. And the problem is, for me, is I'm totally impatient. This is the most challenging thing ever, because I want here. But when I was here, I was just happy that there was any movement at all. Now it's like, only 3 people downloaded my free workbook today. I want 20 or whatever. I do think that CE classes are an investment, and my finances have changed enough that I can take a CE class in something that's the complete opposite of what I do. And sometimes I do. There are times when I've left a CE class and what I have learned as an educator is what not to do. And I consider that valuable.
That was your investment.
I consider that valuable.
Knowledge,
yeah. That's like when I deal with my wife Andrea, the reason I could choose Andrea is because I made lesser choices previously. and dated people that I went, nope, 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 and it took time to figure that out, but those little mistakes you made, if you learn from them, add value. So I don't get as frustrated about I didn't learn a technique that completely revolutionized my business or practice.
See, and that's where the CEU review group comes into play, because you don't have to date a lot of these providers and spend a lot of money on them. You can read the reviews and hopefully find a provider that speaks to your heart and practice.
Yeah.
So, but I agree with you.
Yeah. The CE classes are worth it.
Yeah.
I guess mainly if I was going to say, I would encourage you to join the Massage and Bodywork CE review group that she's the admin of. I'll make sure there's a link down below in the video so you can join that.
We've got some great admins and they're very knowledgeable.
You don't have to be licensed to join.
No, and that's the other thing too. You don't have to be licensed to join this group. It's primarily geared towards massage and body workers, but it's also geared towards people who are interested in this kind of stuff. People who are trying to find out what it is that we do, what kind of classes that we're learning about. And it's just it's for anybody who's interested in body work as a whole. And some providers only teach to licensed students, which is fine, and some providers teach to everybody because their stuff has value too. And we open for everyone. We just want to hear about your classes. Help build our community.
The marketing that would come from a large established school and their continuing education programs, and the marketing that comes from somebody like me who's a sole proprietor, do you notice, because you spend more time on that group specifically, I mean I read it occasionally as stuff comes through.
I see everything that's posted.
Do you see like a huge gap between larger organizations offering CE classes and sole proprietors like me?
I have been frustrated with schools specifically because I've noticed that they've been less involved in the dialogue with the members. We've had several providers who were bigger trying to build schools, which, totally understand that they're trying to build, their model, and that's great. But it was very frustrating to have these people join the group and then literally just spam post after post, come to my school, you'll learn all these techniques, without ever actually giving anything to the group. I have noticed that more sole proprietors, people that, more individual people, individual providers, are much more invested in the quality that in the quality of education they've been getting, and also in communicating with the members, really talking with them about their philosophy, about their modalities, about their techniques, and just in general building it up. So I would say that I've noticed that as far as a marketing standpoint, the group probably has helped more individual and more sole proprietors more than a bigger school.
And see, and that right there, and the thing is, we're talking about that specifically, but that is how social media has changed business, because large places are not able to convey information in the same way.
They're not able to have that dialogue.
Yeah.
And then you have, if anybody goes to the group and you read these, big long threads, you'll see there's a lot of dialogue going back and forth, a lot of questions being asked. And then people want to take the classes because they're like, wow, I really like Robert. I really like his, philosophy on it. Or somebody's like, that's just not for me, and they don't waste their money, and they don't waste their time, they don't, miss work. So it's just a really great group. Yeah. And I'm glad it's there because there's no other immediate forum for reviews of providers and reviews of classes.
Yeah.
Where you can talk with people.
And that was why immediately before I even met you, that was why I supported the group, because I saw it was putting power back in the individual therapist's hands. And because I promote transparency, I actually got excited when I found it, because I see the marketing and advertising challenges that are in our industry. I didn't see it and go, oh no, here's another group, there's tons of potential students, and I can't sell what I do to them. No, what I saw was, okay, promote the group through your email list. Promote the group by making a video, and then when I found you local, let's make a video together. promote the group by sending your students to that group to write reviews, which is totally within their like terms of service.
Yeah.
So the thing is, you're actually promoting this sort of ethics. You're promoting this integrity. You're promoting this transparency. And here's what happens. Everything is so transparent because of YouTube, social media, the groups. It keeps me on my toes because I have to provide the best quality information, class, marketing that I can to be able to get those students to write great reviews.
And the other thing, we also have an anonymous option. You can contact any one of the admins and give your experience anonymously, if whether it's good or bad, because I know that nobody ever really wants to give a bad review. Nobody wants to really hurt anybody's feelings, but at the same time, the quality has to increase. We're paying all of this money. We need quality education. We need to expect more from our providers. And that's why this group is so important, because we want everyone to just be better. And this is a very easy way to make everyone better. And the providers that are involved with the group and talking with members, they're getting advertising from students, saying, hey, Robert's class was great. And the providers that choose not to, that's completely fine too. Maybe we're not part of, their overall plan. But really the main goal is for our members to find quality education for their money, and an experience that they want, and to hold providers to a higher standard.
I think that the marketing changes. Sometimes on other massage-related, other massage-related Facebook groups, people will come in and ask about, do you have recommendations for cupping classes or whatever? And I always link your group because I feel like it's a more succinct group for that information. Asking in other groups, I don't know, it doesn't appeal to me as much. There's something, I feel like Facebook groups develop their own culture. Individual groups have like a different sense based on like having a party. The party that you have is determined by the people who show up at the party.
And I've noticed in other groups, there are certain people that are more active in other groups, just like you were saying with the culture. But what I've noticed in a lot of the other groups is when you ask for about a cupping class, they get just a lot of links.
Yeah.
And that's not information. I can Google cupping classes in Austin.
Yep.
But that's not going to give me any information about the provider, about the class, and how it felt. And another thing that really helped out with the group too, or what kind of helped, make it be born, I guess, was I have a therapist friend. She's deaf, so she has certain needs that she needs from providers, and she was getting frustrated contacting these providers directly and getting very slow responses. But on the board, she's able to ask the questions that specifically pertain to her needs. Do they speak clearly? Do they have a mustache? Because it inhibits her ability to look
I never considered that.
Exactly, things that you would never have considered.
Yeah,
and that other providers would never have considered. Are there too many TAs? Is the classroom, set up weird? Stuff that is very vital to her and her practice and her everything, because she has that limitation. And she's not wasting her money by saying, oh, this class and this provider just may not work for me. It's nothing against them, it's just not good for her. And that's, again, why I really like this group and want to see it grow and be part of the larger community, because you can get what you need from it, and I think that's great.
Well, it also, for the therapist dollar, it's doing a lot of the work of the sorting process, depending on what you want. When we talk about like an individual, my social media, for instance, some people will ask me, they want to like post to Facebook, but then it automatically cross-posts to Instagram or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that per se, but I handle all of my own social media. So when you interact with me on social media, I think you get a definite sense of the fact that you're interacting with me. Because part of my marketing relies on the fact that if you don't like my personality, and you don't like my sense of humor, and you don't like that I drop the F-bomb occasionally, you're probably not going to be my ideal student. But at the same time, someone contacted me yesterday because they were buying, I think they purchased the bundle that my table tie workbook was part of with Gail Wood. That's a thing we're in right now. And she was contacting me because she works on older clients, She's trying to figure out how to change up her body work, but she doesn't know if she can do the mat-based work because it might not. And she's local. I know she's here in Austin. We had talked briefly online. And I said, listen, you know, I've got time after this video shoot today. Why don't you just stop by my studio and we'll just talk in person? And the thing is, that's the height of being personable. She's local. I have the time. It doesn't hurt anything. And even if she doesn't study with me, at least she's able to get the information that allows her to move on. If she does like what I do, think about the connection she has. Because if Eric Dalton invited me to his house in Oklahoma, how do I feel about hanging out with Eric Dalton and he let me borrow a massage table or whatever? It increases that personability, and that's what other providers may not necessarily be able to do. And also it makes me stand out, which is the long-term goal, because it's like a ticker tape rolling in the background. It's like, oh, Robert had a bacon sandwich yesterday. You know, as long as it was on his Instagram or whatever. Those things increase that personability and that ability to adapt quickly. Where I could have easily said, listen, I'm too busy, I'll just have a phone call. But for some reason, having a little afternoon gap, it was like, no, why don't you just come over and we'll talk about it in person.
And it creates that connection, which and we're social beings in general, and having you or a provider or whomever always at the front of the brain, always just like, oh, there's Robert again, oh, there's so and so again. That's just keeping all of that information fresh. And like we said before, I feel like a lot of providers are just missing that. You know, they're not there. They don't have a presence. I'm not. Who do I think of when I think of this? Eric Dalton puts out amazing videos on YouTube. Stuff that you can watch too, and I think that's wonderful because that has, gotten me excited to take one of his classes. Like, wow, I want to learn more. I want to see more. And but if somebody's doing the exact same thing, I don't know about it because they're not there.
In other words, if they're not making videos.
Yeah, if they're not making videos, if they're not communicating on, any sort of, social forum. Like, how do I know that they're there? They can send me a mailer, and I can get a postcard and be like, oh, cool, Bob Smith does this. That means nothing to me because I don't know them. I don't, we don't have that connection, even though it's just a simple video or even a blog or just talking on, Facebook or Instagram. It's why would I choose a mailer over somebody who is consistently communicating?
I think you can start to feel spread out after a while, but I don't know if there's a real answer to that.
You get so
in 1980, you had print, you had radio, TV, mailers. Now it's much more complex. Other forms of media like print ads, especially in our industry in massage, I think are almost dead. But I think it just depends on what you're going for and what your marketing niche.
It comes down to just what your philosophy is and what your niche is.
I had Scott Lindquist talk to us on the Massage Entrepreneurs group that I'm an admin, and I'm always trying to get therapists on social media. And Scott said, how many clients do you get from your social media posts? And I said, immediately, none. And he's like, so why are you trying to get these therapists on social media if people aren't using it? And I'm like, because they're clients 5 years from now. And that's the thing, it's because I've got this long perspective, it's not short. People aren't following my Snapchat right now and like coming in and getting sessions because they found me on Snapchat. But here's the thing, if I have a younger client who's social media savvy and he goes, wow, this guy has a Snapchat and they follow me, they may follow me for 6 months. But think about the level of personality that's come across during that time. And here's the thing, it's not just about Snapchat as a platform, as a channel of communication. It's about that continued development of what's the next channel. MySpace doesn't get a lot of traffic anymore. Facebook does. But that
it's going to change.
Exactly.
It will change.
And if anything, using all of these different channels simultaneously, what it's done is it's taught me more about marketing generally and how do you put out a message. And all I continue to do is very casually. The technology doesn't make me afraid anymore. I'm not scared of it. When something new comes along, I'm increasingly sort of curious and go, Oh, wow, because you were talking to me earlier about, Snapchat has filters, right?
Yeah.
Is it was because I'm not using filters? So
yeah, you were using filters.
Yeah.
So you should, they're fun. And I think also too, that's where, as a therapist in general, people need to kind of know what their audience is. Because, if you're a therapist and, you want to focus more on older people or geriatric people, social media may not be your go-to, and that's where, do your mailers, do your community, things, do your church bulletins, and that's great, and it works for some people, but as our society moves forward and changes, we have to change with it, because things are going to change. It's human nature for us to change, and like I said, baby boomers, fastest growing demographic, and they're being forced to use technology because their kids and their grandkids use technology.
Yeah.
So you have to reach them.
Mary Duvall works on marketing for, she calls it mature adults, not seniors, but with mature adults, and we talked about that extensively because she's actively using social media, but it's more to build her sort of business and consulting business, not with her clients, because they're not really on these mediums yet. But she seems to think that in growing years it'll actually shift.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm actually looking at younger people, because for me as a target market, because I'm sort of upending the industry where I'm like, get rid of your table, let's work on a map. Because I'm doing that, I'm actively using social media more than some providers because my students are new students. Meaning my target market, if I had to say, is probably, if I had to guess, are therapists that have worked 10 years or less. Because I'm trying to get new therapists who recognize something new, who want to do something different, who want to stand out, who want to use social media.
They're not as deeply entrenched with what they're doing. And and it's not anything against those more established therapists, because what they're doing works.
Oh, sure.
And that's wonderful. And that whole don't upset the apple cart. And that's working for them, and that's great. But for a lot of other people, you have to try new things, you know? And just like I encourage a lot of people to take classes either that they're just interested in or that they just don't know.
Yeah.
Because everything you take will affect you somehow. Whether, you'll learn something from it.
Even if it's teaching you what you don't.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's a challenge because you don't want to waste your money. That's, a core portion.
Yeah.
But Walt Fritz, I took a class with Walt Fritz. We were good friends, both CE providers, lots of common things there between us. And the reason I took Walt Fritz's class is because Walt Fritz had conversations with me on Facebook. If I wrote it periodically and said, hey, I had a question about this, he would usually come on and talk to me. And he was nice, he was personable, presentable. That connection, even through just a Facebook message, made me decide to go, spend $400 on a class with him. And what was his investment time-wise? Oh, very little.
Yeah. And it cost him nothing.
Yeah.
Just talking. And that's again why I really like to see more providers, especially in the CE group, but also overall, communicating with their client or communicating with the community as a whole.
Yeah. Well, I admin Massge CE Classes that I picked up from Julia Nofrio. And Massge CE Classes has become just ad central of ad after ad after ad. And I look at their marketing and all I can think is they lose. But right now you're watching this one video, but it's not about this one video. It's what happens when I have a camera now. What happens when I have 3 of them? What happens when I continue to put out so much content and information that you cannot avoid me? I can guarantee you there are Thai massage practitioners in Austin who hate me. Because you can't talk about Thai massage in Austin without people talking about me and how frustrated they must be. But at the same time, you have to realize a guy with high ethics and high transparency is I created community. And when I've asked other Thai massage practitioners if they would like to shoot video content with me, they, for whatever reason, some people just don't like to be on camera, it's not their marketing style. But even if it's not your marketing style, I'm getting called fat and I win. Because I'm getting views, I'm drawing, across the board, and that is how you win in 2016.
Because people know you.
Yes. It's just, Gary Vee talks about he day trades in attention.
Mm-hmm.
It's got people's attention. We put out a video, this video might be going on 20 plus minutes.
Mm-hmm.
People are sitting down at home or in their car or, at the doctor's office on their phone, listening to you and I, and here's what they assume. They assume that we are experts in our field because I have a video camera and a YouTube account.
Mm-hmm. And it's a name. That's the other thing. It's a name.
I become a name. I want to be like Madonna. I want to change my style. Just one. Yeah.
It's Robert and Glitter.
Reboot.
Reboot.
Glitter and five sparklers.
It makes it, people remember that, and it's fancy.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, I agree with you. It's things have to change.
Yeah.
Well,
it will, for better or worse.
Mm-hmm.
What I do see as particularly challenging is when I see larger established businesses that don't want to change their business model because they say, well, we've always done this and this has always worked.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, okay, if this is what you've always done and this is why it's always worked, why are you talking to a guy that works out of his garage about marketing? And it's because you can see that what I'm doing is working and I'm drawing tons of attention and you can't quite figure out how I did it. Well, I did it because of this. I did it because of social media. Because my challenge was I was completely broke. I didn't have a budget. But when I had $100 in that flip cam, I could make horrible videos for YouTube. And people would see those videos years ago. This was 5-6 years ago. People would see that video and say, and I've heard clients say this, well, he has to be a professional, he's got a YouTube video.
9-year-olds with YouTube videos.
Exactly, they're 9-year-olds making YouTube videos. It doesn't, the world has changed, marketing has changed,
but
you just have to adapt.
The benefit is that people can see what you're doing. They can see that it makes sense, they can see if they want to try it, it whets their appetite, and it's for the most part free.
Yeah. When it comes to sole proprietors, when they talk about competition, when they talk about marketing, when they talk about all of this, I always ask, in a sole proprietor situation where you're the only therapist, how many regular clients do you need? Because if you're a massage therapist and you have 40 regular clients who see you every 2 weeks, your practice is almost full.
Yeah.
You're banging at that point. 40 people is nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
So Austin's gonna
Nothing.
100 new people a day.
100 new people a day.
In Austin?
The clients that you want here in Austin moved here today.
More than. They're here.
Yeah.
And exactly. It's don't fight with franchises because it's not worth it.
Fight with franchises. No, it's not even.
It's not worth it. They're there. They're not going away.
Well, the market, and that's the thing. There's a certain sense of survival of the fittest. There's a social Darwinian struggle economically. The market decides. And what I've got massage therapists. I've got educators, schools, people in my industry who they don't say bad things about me in public, but I can tell there's a little bit of you can't do that. And what they're saying is, not that what I'm doing is illegal, what they're saying is, we've never seen anybody do what you're talking about. And it's the more nuanced, the more specialized, the more I stood out like a sore thumb, the more I had adoring fans and adoring students and adoring clients. My business kept growing, and I stopped listening to my industry. I stopped listening to my industry, my business kept growing.
And that's the same concept of, a therapist that complains, somebody down the street charging $40.
Yeah.
Be better than what you're doing. Because if
but
it's
again,
not,
it's because they feel like they're selling the same service.
Exactly. And you're not, you're selling you.
Yes.
I mean, that's what massage is. You're selling yourself.
Yep.
It's, what you do might be amazing, but if you can't sell yourself, no one will see it.
Yeah. Word of mouth. We had conversations on the entrepreneurs group about this recently. Word of mouth is one of the most potent forces we have in our industry as massage therapists. And I don't downplay word of mouth, but